You should keep your mouth shut. You lucky I never come to St. Thomas.
Member from St. Catherine's South.
You must control the member.
No, you must control.
The statement is, if criminals challenge the state, they must not win. These are the words of Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
If criminals challenge the state, they must not win.
But talk about body-worn cameras.
Where are the cameras? You can go into a store and just pick up a camera and stick it onto this.
You know, those of you who just run through here have too much talk.
Oh, me say we not cap. There's no Jamaican unity in Canada. I swear to God. We as Jamaican, we there longer than every other race of black people in Canada. Me see the African come and them build their own community. I would there for years. We not have no community. The only time we unite as Jamaican in Canada, I would have that's what we call Caribbean every summer. We have some summer cooking in the backyard. And we are going to party. And the only time that we unite. No unity in the Jamaican community in Canada. I swear to God, if I'm dead if I'm lying. Eh? Right now, every youth goes to move forward from Jamaica. Right from the forward. They should go and make 2 calls and say, yo, watch it now. You know me, I'm forward. I watch it now. We just go to say, alright, watch it. We are big around this so get some work. See? 2 youth forward right now, could I go and say, alright? See some clothes, hold on for them. We are getting a start in Canada. Yo, we don't have that in our community. The man and woman against the one of the farm.
So we're going Jamaica. So hello everyone. I hope that you are all doing well. So kindly guys, if it's your first time coming across my video, feel free to share, comment, and also don't forget to put a thumbs up. So guys, in today's video you're going to see a clash in the parliament, like the opposition leader Jackson and the government leader Andrew Holness. They are having a clash live in parliament. So guys, this issue where police are very brutal. They are killing and harassing people. So Jackson is there telling the PM that to do the right thing, like to at least control this thing, because many people are dying and it has really cost Jamaica. So guys, watch this video till the end. I'll be back with some comments. Stay tuned guys.
Prime Minister, I saw you were gesturing to open and close immediately without allowing for participation. But I think that there's an oversight on your part. You know, those of you who just run through here have too much talk. Don't. The Prime Minister would not agree with you. You should keep your mouth shut. You lucky I never come to St. Thomas.
Member from St. Catherine's South.
You must control the member.
No, you must control your mouth in the house on the mic. You are on record, member. St. Catherine's South, you're on record, remember.
Prime Minister, you take people's business for joke. Prime Minister, as you have said, lightly at the outset, this matter is not a contentious one. Those of us who would have been aware the Zozo bill came through this house with joint support on both sides. Participation was intense and the bill was enacted with the full support of the whole house. So the genesis of the bill has been a non-contentious one. But before I go further, Madam Speaker, usually the Minister of National Security would move these resolutions, and he's not here for it. I want to use the opportunity to wish for him a very speedy recovery from his medical procedure as was announced at the time. So as I said, Madam Speaker, it's not a contentious issue. The question is how successful the ZOZO implementation has been, as we all wished then and continue to wish, as an intervention towards the reduction of crime. But what we must also not lose sight of is that one of the inherent intention was never to just have a reduction in crime, but to have a sustainable reduction of crime in the communities that were identified and the Zozo was declared in. It is quite a long time now since we have been having the Zozo in these communities. As I said, from 2017 to now, started with one and the number incrementally increased. In fact, I recall quite often the Prime Minister commented that, in fact, had failed to implement Zozo in many other communities that members were making the request for them to be. But be that as it may, we have just 7 now. In the reports table of the 7, there are 2 of the Zozos which are in areas that were badly affected by the hurricane, namely the Mount Salem Zozo, that community, and Norwood, where damages of significance, and Sablamar, yes, but I'm just going by the report, yes, but Sablamar is indeed one of our western parishes that have been affected. So, Prime Minister, I would want to suggest that as we seek to bring normalcy to all the communities that have been ravished by the hurricane, we remain mindful that these particular areas should be given particular attention because we had recognized their vulnerable states from then, why they were declared areas in the first instance. And in the midst of the hurricane, the post-hurricane period, we should make much effort to ensure that they are treated probably differently or a little bit better because they were worse off in terms of their contribution or the prevalence of criminal activities. So I want to posit that. Beyond that, Madam Speaker, reduction of crime is welcome. Reduction of murders, violent crimes are always welcome. But as I recall from a retired police officer, in fact, I was reminded of it by a former commissioner of police and former minister of national security on that side. Security is not merely the reduction of murders. It is an environment where people feel safe. In other words, the numbers can go up very high and people still feel very unsafe. And we have experienced that in the country and vice versa. The numbers can go down of significance, which we want them to go. But what is also important is that we generate an environment of safety, of sense of security by our citizens. That's not an idea of mine, it's a well-established phenomenon. We can either decide to accept it and be guided by it, or we ignore it. Madam Speaker, we want to ensure that as the number of murders and violent crimes in general go down, that the reduction is sustainable. And we have always said there must be other interventions to ensure that sustainability. In fact, even the Zozo was considered one form of social intervention in that regard. If we embrace that as a critical input, then we must endeavor to deepen it and widen it so that the sustainability can be achieved. So I want to posit that we not just focus on the numbers that go down, but to ensure the sustainability. It is two shufflers make for a dance. Madam Speaker, we are coming from a point where much effort been made by states of emergency to reduce crime. and we saw that never gave us any result. In fact, ironically, the period that is being referred to by this reduction is the period since we have not had states of emergency. There's a direct correlation between both. That is not my opinion. You might not like it, but it's a matter of fact. So, but interestingly though, Madam Speaker, with the welcome reduction in murders, we have a significant increase in killings by the police. We can't ignore that. And if we do it at our own perils. So that must not be ignored. And that brings me to the other question, which has detained many Jamaicans. In fact, the Prime Minister, you yourself have made reference to it in not so long ago. The body-worn cameras. You have publicly voiced your support for the widespread implementation of body-worn cameras. Where are we with that? And it would be useful if you, Prime Minister, or anyone in the pertinent ministry can provide that update, and not only an update, but a roadmap, a schedule, so that we know when we are going to get where. It's not enough to say we are working on it, plans are afoot, all efforts are being made, because the truth of the matter, that has been said for quite a long time. But we are where we are, and to my knowledge, my information, we are way from fully implementing that. So I want to posit that for your consideration and response. But talk about body-worn cameras, and it's all about SOE, the ZOZOs is all about crime reduction, and as I said earlier on, ensuring an environment of safety throughout our communities, and particularly in our public spaces and vulnerable areas. And that brings me, Madam Speaker, to the question of the CCTVs. Again, there has been open acknowledgement. The minister from Western St. Mary, when he was the minister in charge of the portfolio, made a celebration of the launch at the National Arena. He invited me there, and I attended and gave full support. Spokesman and everything. So the then Minister of National Security made huge promises then about the rollout of closed circuit television throughout the country. Where are we with that? Again, it is incumbent on us to ensure that we have more and more safe and secure public spaces throughout the country, so that our people can traverse their communities, traverse the country, and feel safe in their country. So I put it to you, Prime Minister, that would be welcome. It is and always been the commitment of the opposition to work, to collaborate towards ensuring that Jamaica becomes a safe place and remain a safe place by sustainable measures that are implemented. And I give my support to the passage of the resolution that is before us.
The member mentioned increase in police killings was also alluded to by the member from St. Catherine South. And I will say this. The police force has become far more effective in doing its job. I can say with great confidence that the JCF and the JDF have mainstreamed and internalized human rights training. It is part of their doctrine. It is part of their leadership culture. And they do try, as far as they can, to protect lives, including the lives of criminals. I hear a great deal of talk about the increase in the number of police killings. And I too have my own concerns about this, because I don't want it to ever be said that, you know, our police force is the most lethal. That's not the kind of police force that we are trying to create. But I believe that on the other side of the ledger, on the other side of the argument, we must also be concerned about the propensity of criminals to challenge the police. I don't hear anyone saying, why are these criminals shooting at the police? Why, when they are stopped, why, when they are interdicted, they decide to challenge the police? As I have said earlier, we have invested heavily in our police force to make them more effective. And the Jamaican state must never be at threat or at risk of criminals. If criminals challenge the state, they must not win. Our police officers must go home to their families safely. So, whilst we do have our concerns, and we have put systems in place, both internally at the leadership level, we support INDICOM and its own operations. We encourage the internal review and use of force policy in the JCF. When we meet in the National Security Council, these are matters that are discussed, because we want our police force to, more than anything else, serve, protect, and preserve life. So, some duplicity in the arguments presented by the opposition. First, there is a call for more technology. Where are the cameras? Both body-worn and closed-circuit cameras, Jamaica Eye. We need the greater use of technology to improve security in public spaces and improve the outcomes of interactions between the police and the citizens. And I support this fully. And to reassure the member from St. Catherine South that just, in Cabinet 2 weeks ago, we approved a major procurement of over 1,000 body-worn cameras. And this is just one in a series of such procurements to come for more cameras. So it is underway. And just to be clear to the public, there sometimes seems to be the view that you can go into a store and just pick up a camera and stick it onto the police chest. Please, these matters are, I don't want to use the term sophisticated, because by now the technology is fairly standard, but it requires an ecosystem for it to work. So it's not just cameras, it is also storage, archival for retrieval. It has to be up to a certain standard that what is stored reaches evidentiary levels. There has to be a system of how these cameras are maintained should there be failure. And then there is the whole business of putting in place the fiber optic connections, because where you download physically the footage is not where you're going to store it. So it has to be transmitted, and you have to make sure that you have that connection. So there's a lot to be built out before you can deploy body-worn cameras. And I'm assuring the public that the build-out is taking place, and we have signed off on a procurement.
So, the statement is, if criminals challenge the state, they must not win. If criminals challenge the state, they must not win. These are the words of Prime Minister Andrew Holness after members of the opposition spoke about the almost 300 murders from the police in 2025. This happened on Tuesday. If criminals challenge the state, they must not win. Now, nothing is wrong with the statement if it is that the state was really being challenged by criminals. Yeah? But when you have citizens like myself who have been begging the government of this country to look deep into the police, you don't have to look deep, to look into the police force, yeah, and to come and retract statements made by you, the Prime Minister, and the evil Security Minister Orias Chang, by saying people must meet their judge or their maker, which is you in parable giving the Jamaica Constabulary Force or the security forces, both soldier and police, the right to choose what they do when they confront a citizen. That's how dangerous that statement is. When you approach a citizen, you have the support from me, the Prime Minister, and the Security Minister, the heads of government, the Governor General, who doesn't work shit in this country. You give them the right to make a choice on the spot. And they have made 291 decisions. 291 choices were made by the security forces for 2025, which amounts to the lives of citizens that were taken. You see, if it was a case where the statements made by police, confrontation, gunmen shoot after them, shots were returned, and they were found suffering from gunshot wounds. But that's not the case, you know. That's not the case. We have a situation where when INDECOM, an independent body or an oversight body, who is there to pretty much make sure that the police is kept in line with what they're doing, when they do their investigations, the findings are just like what the citizens been complaining about, that their relatives and loved ones were murdered. And you want to know how I concluded that? or deduce that from the reports that are out there. More than 42 police officers are on murder charge. 42, not one, maybe one or two didn't make a mistake and, you know, kill a youth and now they have to pay the penalty. But that's not the case. It's not one or two, it's not 5, it's not 10, it's not 20 police, it's not 30 police, it's 40. No, it's not 40, it's 42 and counting. 42 police on murder charge. So I want to ask the opposition something tonight, Mr. Mark Golding and the others of you from the opposition. Big man thing. So you guys had to wait until it was 291 Jamaican men. The country already no have no man left. God bless the few we have left, few real man. And you thought, instead of coming up with programs to rehabilitate the young men, yeah, real programs, and not just rehabilitate, put them in the army, put them to serve the country, find money, pay them. There are a lot of things we could do, a lot to generate income in this country, but we refuse to tap into it because we keep selling the country for 5 cents and selling our resources for 5 cents. 5 cents. Crooked money. So there's not enough to be in the budget. We're always barely surviving, while politicians more than survive to the tune of 300% for them salary increase. I spoke about a teacher who I saw this week at a school. I'm not going to call the name of the school. It's not the first or second teacher I have observed whose shoes, it was despicable looking upon the woman's shoes. You can see poverty written upon the woman's shoes. You can see the sides are dry rot, the heels more than worn down. You know when shoes done in Jamaica, we say, boy, no man, the shoes that done. That's what the teacher had on. She had to show up at work. She have to go home, she probably have mortgage and rent. Why she can't buy one good pair of shoes? Because shoes relatively cheap, you know. But guess what? Cheap for us who can afford it. Them who can't, it's a mountain to climb over. I want to know, why is it the opposition feel the need to ask or to show empathy or grave concern to the fact that it's now 291 persons that have been murdered since the start of the year. It's now after 12, it's December 15 now, 2025. And I'm going to say this. There's going to be more men who are going to be murdered by the police before the year is out. To all the Jamaican men out there, I don't know who you are. Please do not challenge the security forces, because the decree has been sent out to make sure that you meet your maker. And the police them have been now collecting and keeping tally. And I'm not talking about the good police them that is really providing a lawful service and not police force. Excessive force. But the real police them, big up on yourself to the real police them. But you see today the little drunker them who are kill off on the brothers and the sisters, and I listen to Andrew Holness and stuff. Only better pray to God, say me now become president of this country. Not prime minister, president, because we are changing. Only better pray me not become it. You think a 42 under the murder charge? we're gonna investigate every last one of you. You think we don't know that most of Uno is a part of a criminal enterprise? Uno, some liar, some judge, politician, the whole of Uno wrap up in a bed with a dirty, nasty, evil, criminal ways in this country. We will find the syndicate of Uno will be punished.
So welcome guys. I hope that you have watched all the video and you have seen and you have get some fewer details about what was happening in the parliament. So guys, in the parliament we have seen that Jackson is defending the people. Like Jackson feels like even though there is crime in the town, there should not be a lot of killings. You know guys, during the Hurricane Melissa there was a lot of destruction. People lost properties, people lost a lot of things. So our youth, when they lost property, some engage themselves in crime and violence. So we have seen that police is allowed to arrest these people but not to kill them. We have heard that many Jamaicans are crying out because there is a lot of killing. The police are very brutal to the people. The police is allowed only to arrest and not to kill anyone, but it is the opposite. The PM and Holness has allowed it. He is supporting the police for what they are doing. You have seen in the court that he is supporting them, like he is defending them, but these police are not doing the right thing. And what I like about the opposition party is that it always keeps the government on check. People were saying that we should not have opposition, but without opposition the government will do what they want. But the duty of this opposition is to make sure that the government is on ties. Like you have seen that Jackson is defending, he's telling Andrew Holness during the Hurricane Melissa there is some part that it has not been helped yet. During Hurricane Melissa there was money that the government was supposed to use, but I heard some people saying that the money was looted. So guys, Jackson is saying that there is some part that is still not being helped during the Hurricane Melissa, but that is not the issue. The issue is that there is a lot of killing. The police are very brutal. They are killing many people. Many people are being killed, and it's not only in Jamaica, guys. Even here where I live in Kenya, guys, we are facing police brutality. These people are very aggressive. I don't know if when they kill someone or I don't know if they kill someone they are being upgraded. I don't know, but these people are very rude, and what makes these people rude is that the government always, like, the leaders always support. The leader is the one that is supposed to tell them that there will be no killing, there will be no harassing. This is the way to handle people. Should not kill people. But you have seen that in the Jamaican case, Andrew Holness is supporting them, like he's defending them, and that makes them more powerful. You have seen that Jamaicans are being killed but guys, crime, when these youths get into crime, it's because they are jobless. The government should at least create some job opportunities for this youth. When you stay idle, they always say that an idle mind is a devil workshop. So these youths are very idle, and when they are very idle, that's when they start crime, they start violence, they start stealing from people. So what I will urge the government, I think will help in this is that the government should at least find some small jobs for this youth to get involved in, because when they are busy doing some job, there will be no crime and violence in the town. These youth are the leaders of tomorrow, and when the police murder them, when these police kill them, guys, we will not have future leaders tomorrow. We will not have future kings and queens tomorrow. So guys, I will hope that the brutal, brutal is not only Jamaicans are facing it, even us in Kenya. The other day our Gen Zs were protesting for good governance and it all went viral. I've seen how Kenyan is facing a lot. We are also facing police brutality, not only in Jamaica, but that's not a good thing, because I've heard that Jamaican, these police are also killing the people. The police is supposed to arrest you and take you to the cell where you'll be prosecuted, where you'll be taken to court and you'll be answerable for what you have done, but not to kill. And that's why I tell these people, like, to always be keen when electing leaders. You have seen that Jamaicans are crying about bad leadership. They're saying that Andrew Holness has not done some things that he has promised to do. Andrew Holness has elected her wife to be the speaker in the parliament. That shows you that he's controlling the Jamaica. And the wife to Andrew Holness, Juliet, cannot allow anything to pass through the court, because she knows that anything that will pass through the court, it will hinder his husband there. So you've seen that this is all about police brutality, bad governance. It's being caused because we as the citizen, we elect people because maybe the person is of the same tribe, or maybe we are being bribed by some little money to elect people. So guys, I would like to tell you that next time during election, we should try and elect good leaders who will help us. Don't look at your pocket, guys. Just look at your future kids. Will this leader help? Will this leader build schools, build hospitals? Will this leader builds road that will be used in the next years, will be used to be by our kids? You have seen that Jamaicans, in the other day, you have seen that the people of St. James were demonstrating. They banned the road. There was no job. They are complaining about bad governance in Jamaica. So guys, I'd like to appreciate the opposition leaders, because they are doing the right things. They are keeping the government on check. So guys, you can tell me in the comment section, do you think that we'll be getting good leaders in the future, or the era of the good leaders are over? Because nowadays the leaders that we are electing during the campaigns, they are very good. They tell us things what they will do, but when they get these seats, they turn out to be the opposite. So guys, can tell me in the comment section, do you think like the era of the good leader has ended, or is us the people who are not keen during elections? So guys, if it's your first time coming across my video, feel free to share, comment, and also don't forget to smash that subscribe button, so that we can have some more about this Jamaican thing and all about Jamaica. So guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and for the returning ones, I want to appreciate you for the love and support. So guys, stay safe, meet you in my next video. One love.